see. Good morning. Okay. I bought my mama a desk for my office, and I don't know. So I ended up changing my office around again to fit everybody's needs, and yeah. But I think I like it better this way. I felt like I was too up in my camera space when y'all were in front of me at this table, and now it's like this, and I think I like it a lot. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so my peoples, got to tell y'all something. So I totally know that we're reading the Bible in a year, but I went a little off track. Imagine that. But I'm excited about it. I felt the need to go to 1 Kings. Okay, we're actually going to be at 1 Kings 19 this morning. I don't know. I really love Elijah, and I love his story. And I just felt like I needed to go there and read. So I'm going to read. That is where I'm going to be for probably the next couple of weeks is in 1 Kings. But that don't mean that y'all have to go off track with your Bible reading in the year, okay? Y'all just keep on keeping on, and if you got questions, I will continue to answer, and I will go back and read and journal and all that. But right now, I'm just kind of like...
Is today church?
No. I'm just kind of going where I felt led, okay? And that's what happens now. When I first started reading the Bible, that was not what happened, okay? I read it from front to back, and I didn't waver on that, and I went front to back so that I could have a good sense of where things were, who people were, and, a really good sense of, like, an overview of the Bible, okay? But now that I do have that, okay, I just kind of jump around and study what I want to study, but all while making sure that I'm going to read this whole Bible again in a year. Okay? Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying making sense this morning? So we're going to be in 1 Kings chapter 19. I'm going to have to move my sticky notes because I can't read if I can't see. And I'll put them back. I got a hot and a cold beverage. I got the rest of my coffee and my water. My goal today is 3 of those waters. And not to take a nap. Yeah. It is a 7:08 in the Expressions Bible. While y'all are turning there, let me show y'all something. I bought another Bible. Y'all can go, oh, really? How do we know? But for real, hear me out. I love this. It is called an NIV Radiant Virtues Bible. It is a soft cover, which I love. And there is still room for journaling, just not like as much, right? And then you can like write your prayers in the front. It's got these cute little like things in the back. And it has little like devotions out through it. And it highlights faith, hope, and love all throughout the Bible, which is really cool. But let me tell you why I bought it. Well, first off, I bought it for myself because this is a lot easier to carry around than one of my big old Bibles that I got. So I bought this for me, like to carry around when I need, let's just be honest, I like having a Bible everywhere I go. So I bought it for me to do that. But I was reading it last night, so this is also a very good Bible to take with me when I'm going to bed, because I can lay in bed and I can read it before I go to sleep. But while I was reading it last night, I was reading my 1 Kings 19. And I think, as I was reading it, I got to thinking this is a really pretty Bible. And I was like, And then Emma come in there, and she like laid her head on me, and she was like, "Mom, I love you." And I said, "I love you." She says, "Why do you read the Bible?" I said, "To grow my relationship with the Lord." And she laid there with me for a second, and then she left. Well, my daughter deals a lot with like emotions, right? And she don't exactly know how to handle them sometimes. I think as I read through this Bible just by myself personally, and I think I might make a pact with myself to once a week write in this Bible and write her notes. Like, if I spent the next, so she is 8 years old, so 18. If I spent the next 10 years filling this Bible with little notes to my daughter, when she's 18 or even 21, whenever she moves out of my house, this is what I could give her. Like, and it will just have little notes for her, for like reminders. Like one of them you'll see today as we go through 1 Kings 19. This is really good. And I needed the reminder. But I know that my teenage daughter Emma is going to need the reminder too, that I'm going to give all of you today. And I thought, well, what if you wrote notes to her in the like the margins? What if you, instead of like taking notes, what if you highlight the verse that you're talking about and write her notes? And that way, when she moves out, I gift her Bible from me. It ain't going to be her first Bible, but it'll be full with like all kinds of notes from me to her. And, you know, I don't know. I think that would be so sweet. I heard it's called a legacy Bible. I like that. Yes, I'll add this to the storefront. I'll try to find it. I bought it at my nearest Ollie's, but I will add it to the storefront because I got to add some books to the storefront today. But ain't that sweet? I don't know. I was like, I think I'm going to do that. And I was just reading it. And for some reason, like all I was doing was reading my Bible in bed. And it just flooded my heart with, you need to add notes in here for your child. And I'm like, you're right, I do. Like, that's good. Yes, Ollie's. That's where I got that. I got it at Ollie's for like $35. Great graduation Bible. I like that. That's a good idea. I thought like when she goes out into this world is hard and scary and just, it's all the things, you know. So like if I gift her something that could help her. I'm praying for you, girlfriend. I hope you start to feel better soon. That is called a Radiant Virtues Bible. All right. I know it is going to be a struggle today. We're going to be in 1 Kings 19, but I got to quit. Ollie's. I could have got it wrong. I could have said Aldi's, but it's Ollie's. Y'all know I'm dyslexic. I can't do that. They made those words too close together. Oh, they have the Genus Bible there? I didn't see that. Yeah, I did see that he reads truth, though. This is going to be good this morning. Are y'all ready? That is so cool. Mine didn't have the Jesus Bible either, but it had that one. I'll find it on Amazon and link it on my storefront for you guys. I don't have any of this highlighted yet because I need to go back and I'm going to do the rest of this journaling today on a TikTok. If you're ready, say I am. Yes. Okay. This is going to be good this morning. So 1 Kings 19. This is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. All right. When Ahab, that's how I'm saying it, got home, he told Jezebel everything Elijah had done, including the way he had killed all the prophets of Baal. Now listen, let me give you a backstory really quick. Elijah has just completed and done 2 spiritual victories, okay? We don't got time to talk about them, but I'm going to make a TikTok about them later on today because that's what I'm going to finish my journaling in my Bible, right? But he had just completed 2 big spiritual battles, okay? And it has taken a lot out of him. All my little birdies are out here on the ground. That's a big birdie. That ain't no little birdie. So, Jezebel sent this message to Elijah. Lord, help me with the words. Elijah, may the God strike me and even kill me if by this time tomorrow I have not killed you just as you have killed them. Okay, so this is a queen, okay, and she's ruthless, all right, and wicked like they all are. I'm from North Carolina, and she said, I'm gonna kill you. Right? Like she's threatening to take his life, right? She don't like him and she's done with him. So in verse 3 we see here Elijah was afraid and fled for his life. All right? He went to Beersheba, a town in Judah, and he left his servant there. Then he went on alone into the wilderness, traveling all day. So what did Elijah do? Elijah had just done big work for the Lord, and now he's become weary, right? He is, how do I write this down? Elijah had become fatigued and discouraged after 2 great spiritual victories. Discouragement often comes after a big victory for the Lord, right? I love this. He had just watched God do amazing things. He had done amazing things in front of all these people for the Lord, right? He was called and sent by the Lord to do these great things. And yet he still experienced being afraid and running for his life. Right? I want to focus on this morning because I want to show you guys that you can be even people that are close as ever to the Lord. Okay, even people who look like they just have it all together spiritually, even people who go to church every single Sunday, the preacher that's preaching to you, the Bible teacher that's teaching you, the big calling you have on your life, you will still experience discouragement. And this proves to us right here that discouragement and being afraid, all right, will also come after you do something big for the Lord. Right? So this is why I don't like motivation, because see, this is how it works. It don't last. Motivation is fleeting, right? It doesn't stay around for long. It's like all of those wants that you want in your life, right? The things that you want, that you're trying to get, and then you get it, and then you're happy for a little while, but then you're just not happy with it anymore. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Because it's not gonna last. And motivation is the same way. And this is proof. Right? He was ready. He just done 2 great things for the Lord. I mean, great victories, right? And right after the victory was over, he was discouraged. Now let me also propose you this. We're getting ready to keep reading, and we're going to see that he needed refreshing. Okay? He needed refreshing. Because after a spiritual battle, after winning a spiritual battle or doing something big for the Lord, my friends, you're going to need time to replenish what you have lost. Okay? When I drink out of this cup, it eventually becomes empty. Because the more I drink out of it, right, the more I pour into my body, the emptier this cup comes. Right? The more I give you some of it, the emptier it comes. I read a book one time. And it was talking about how, it was a productivity book, right? And it was talking about how you're basically, think of a circle map, right? You got a circle. You get to decide what you're going to do that day and how much energy that took. Because every task that you achieve or that you do during a day is going to fill in some of your circle. Okay? And at the end of the day, that circle is going to be full. And you are going to feel tired, discouraged. You don't want to keep going. Right? We do that every single day. We only have so much of that circle, so much of ourselves that we can give. But see, that's some of our problem. We give and give and give and give and give. And see, we fill that whole circle up. And we still don't replenish the circle. Right? Does it make sense what I'm saying this morning? He had just done 2 great spiritual battles. And he needed to refresh, right? But before he realized that is what he needed, okay, he became afraid and he fled for his life, right? He was scared to death. I want to propose, how many times in your life have you become so discouraged that you've become like Elijah? Let's keep reading right here, because I think all of us have been here. Verse 4. Then he went on alone into the wilderness, traveling all day. He sat under a solitary broom tree and prayed that he might die. I've had enough, Lord. He said, take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors who already died. Now, you might need to read that again, especially for all the Christians out here who would tell you that you're not allowed to have mental health issues and be a Christian, that they don't coincide. Well, I see this great prophet right here, and he had issues and was ready to die. He asked the Lord to kill him. He didn't want to do this anymore. He was discouraged. He said, Lord, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm discouraged. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Take my life. So, for the people who say you can't battle with your mind and still be a Christian, use a line. What about Elijah? Y'all can't tell me that man wasn't demon possessed. I've been on here on some of these lives, and they be telling you that if you have bad thoughts, you are demon possessed. In what world? We not reading from the same Bible. What world you reading from? That ain't the Bible I have. The Bible I have said Elijah sat under a tree and prayed that he might die. And he was a great prophet. So what Bible you read? We not reading the same one. Right? It's verse, let's see. I lost it. 4. Verse 4. So first off, you are allowed to do that. You are allowed to have a moment. See, the key is you're not allowed to stay there. Okay? And we're about to see how we don't stay there. But that's the key. You're not allowed to stay there. You're going to have those thoughts. You're going to become discouraged. You are going to need to refresh and replenish what you have given, right? You're going to need to do that. And sometimes that might come with fatigue, discouragement. Sometimes you may be, Lord, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. Please, I don't want to do this anymore. Listen, can I be honest with you? Like, I love my business. Right? My business is everything. I love my business. I love what the Lord has called me to do. But you know what? Sometimes I quit. I be like, Lord, I quit. I'm done. Yep, I quit. Hey, they'd be like, I quit too. I'd be like, hey, when you quit, write me too on the back of your paper. Because I quit too. Like, we some days we're just like, no, we don't do this anymore. But we know we lie. We know we lie because we love what we do. But we're allowed to have days where we're like, no, I think I'm just going to sail on out today. You know, I'm not going to do this today. Right? Like, I'm tired of this. You're allowed to get tired of this. You're allowed to say, Lord, I've had enough. I'm tired, because I want you to see what happens afterward. Oh, because you're good. I want you to see what happens after Elijah said, Lord, I've had enough. Take my life. I need you to see what the Lord does here, okay? Because you've been here. You may be there right now. Lord, I've had enough. Lord, I'm tired. I've had enough. I just need some rest. I just need to sleep. I'm done, Lord. Right? You've either been there or you're there right now. And I'm going to show you what happened. Oh, this is good. Verse 5. Then he laid down and slept under the broom tree. And as he was sleeping, an angel touched him and told him, get up and eat. He looked around, and there beside his head was some bread baked on hot stones and a jar of water. My goodness. So he ate and drank and laid down again. He needed to sleep and eat. He needed to refresh his body. Let's keep reading really quick. Then the angel of the Lord came down and touched him and said, get up and eat some more, for the journey ahead will be too much for you. So he got up and ate and drank, and the food gave him enough strength to travel 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Sinai, the mountain of God. There he came to a cave where he spent the night. Okay, now listen at me. He needed to rest. He needed to eat. He needed to replenish. He needed to gain some energy back. And that's not all that he needed. We're about to see something else, and it's so good. But the Lord said, I see you. I know you are discouraged. I know you are tired. I know you just completed 2 amazing spiritual battles for me. You are a prophet of mine. I'm going to take care of you. I got you. Here is you something to eat, and here's you something to drink. Right? He provided for him. The Lord gives us big plans, but if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we fulfill them? If we don't spend some time with the Lord, get us a nap, get us something to eat, spend some time with our family. How are you going to accomplish these big goals and dreams that you have that the Lord's gave you if you're not spending any time replenishing? Okay? I'll be honest, I'm the world's worst for that. Maybe I felt called here because y'all know, I'm going on vacation this week, and y'all know I've been debating on whether I'm still going to do coffee talk or not. Well, I've decided I'm not, because I think the Lord right here is saying, wake up. He's hitting me in the forehead. Take you some time. I need to spend some time with you here on this vacation. I need to show you some things that you can come back on fire with on this vacation. He told me that you just need to slow down, right? He's giving me the permission. Kelsey, I'm a rest, replenish, have a good time, spend some time with your family, right? All right. And so I'm not going to do my coffee talks and stuff while I'm on vacation. I am going to take that time for myself and my family and just get the replenishing that I need, right? But I'm the world's worst of that. Right? I don't like to take breaks. I don't like to sit in silence. I don't like to do any of that because I feel like there's always work to be done, and there is. But I can't do the work if I am not rested enough to do so. And neither can you. Right? You cannot do the work if you don't have the strength to do it. Right? And I think a lot of us need to give ourselves that grace. Yesterday, listen, anytime I'm not working, I feel guilty. Anytime. I don't know why, but that yesterday, I had such a great day. I decluttered and cleaned like every room in this house. I even went to the basement and got yard sale stuff together, and like for this spring, and like all kinds of stuff. Went and cleaned out my garage, like all the things, right? My little part of the garage anyway. And I cleaned out my shop. Like I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. And it felt so good. But do you know, all day I battled with the need to work. I was like, Kelsey, you need to check your phone. And then I was like, no, I don't. No, you don't. You don't need to check. You're fine. Those messages can wait till tomorrow. You don't need to check your phone. Like you need to check your email. What if people have emailed? No, you're not doing that. No. Like I had to check myself all day long and tell myself, no, you don't need this. You just think you do. Today is not a day about that. today is meant for resting, right? For doing something that's going to fill up your cup for this week. So I cleaned my house. I got my house looking nice, and that made me feel so good. I lit some candles. I read a book. I planned my week. I done some Bible reading. Like, I took me a shower and just like got ready for the night. I ordered pizza with my family. Like, I done stuff that replenished so that I could be highly equipped to go throughout my week this week. Right? But I felt all day yesterday, you need to be doing something else. You need to be doing something for your job. You need to be doing something here. It's a constant battle, but we have to learn to give ourselves grace, okay? And to quit feeling guilty for taking time for ourselves. You are allowed to replenish your cup, okay? So that you can go out into the world and give to other people. You're not going to be able to help them if you don't. Right? And we got to start realizing that. So Elijah, right? He's become discouraged. He's really tired, right? He's ran and fled for his life. He's dealing with some bad thoughts right now. What does the Lord do? He says, I know you are tired. Here's you some food, eat. Here's you some water, drink. Let me replenish what you have lost. Gosh, this is good. This is good. I love this. Now listen, you know how he traveled and went up on here to this mountain? Can I just real quick, for those of you in the membership who read through the Gospels with us, Moses stayed on this same mountain 40 days and 40 nights. If you're reading the Bible in the year, you just read there centuries later. Oh gosh, that's good. And people try to say the Bible ain't real. There couldn't be connections like that if this Bible was untrue. Y'all can just keep on moving, because there ain't no way. Ain't no way anybody could strategically make that happen. I tell you what, that's good. That's good. Anyway, let's keep reading, because where are we at? We got 30 minutes. All right. And this next part's even better. All right, so I need you to imagine Elijah here. He's tired. He don't want to keep going. He's discouraged, right? He's ready to just, I've had enough. I'm throwing in my towel. Right? How do you overcome the overthinking? I literally speak back to myself about it. And I know that sounds silly, but I do. I acknowledge that it's wrong. And I literally speak back to it and just completely rebuke it. That's what I do. Like, if I notice, like yesterday, my mind, Kelsey, you ain't working. You need to be working. You're not allowed to take a day off. That's what my mind said. And I said, that's not true. They are going to love me whether I show up today or I actually take my day. They actually encourage me to take days off. So I know that's not true. So I rebuke fake feelings with facts is how I do it. If I notice that I am thinking something that's not of the Lord, that is bad, that is trying to distract me, I rebuke it with truth. And that is how I deal with it. Winning the war in your mind. Yeah, that I've never read that one, but I bet it's good. And then there's also, it's by Jenny Allen, Get Out of Your Own Head. Also a really good one. Okay, but now imagine Elijah, okay? He is discouraged. He is ready to throw in the towel. He's had enough, okay? He just wants to rest. So he's sleeping. The angel says, hey, get up, eat a little bit. You need some nurturing for this journey ahead, right? So he's offering him water and a snack. I loved how Angie said it, a sandwich and a snack, and some water. I love that. And now he's got to make this journey, and he does. Okay, he's up on this mountain. Verse 9. Are y'all with me? Verse 9b, actually, the second half, okay? But the Lord said to him, what are you doing here, Elijah? That wrecked me. I'm just going to tell you right now. That wrecked me. First off, the Lord came to comfort. He came to comfort Elijah. Second off, do you know that when you are where Elijah was, discouraged, defeated, and ready to give up, throwing in the towel, the Lord comes to you and he says, what are you doing here? That wrecked me. No, Lord, I don't know. Like, when you are where Elijah was, the Lord comes and he says, what are you doing here? How many times have we got ourselves off track? Oh, here it is. Because we've got so busy that we haven't filled our cup back up. We've allowed ourselves to get discouraged and ready to throw in the towel because we ain't took any time to nurture our own bodies and replenish what we gave. And because we ain't done so, because we ain't took proper time for ourselves to replenish and spend that time with the Lord and all that, because we ain't done that, we end up somewhere that we shouldn't be. Now, Elijah is exactly where he needs to be. Let me tell you that. Because the Lord sent him here. Okay? The Lord told him to get up and go, and he listened, right? He didn't stay in his self-pity. He may have carried it with him on top of the mountain, but at least he moved when the Lord said moved, okay? So he did. But Elijah is where he's supposed to be. But I want to read this to you. How many times have you gotten off track because you've allowed yourself to get discouraged? And now you're in this place where you have no idea how you got here. And you're thinking, I just don't know how I can keep going because I don't know how I got here. But then the Lord comes to you and he says, what are you doing here? Oh, but it gets better. Wait. Elijah replied, I have zealously served the Lord God Almighty, but the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you, torn down your altars, and killed every one of your prophets. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too. Elijah felt alone. Elijah felt like he was the only one left. He wasn't. But he felt like he was. I'm telling you what. Let's just keep reading. Oh, hold on. Verse 11. Go out and stand before me on the mountain, the Lord told him. And as Elijah stood there, the Lord passed by, and a mighty windstorm hit the mountain. It was such a terrible blast that the rocks were torn loose, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord wasn't in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. Oh, wait for it. And after the fire, there was a sound of a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And the voice said, what are you doing here, Elijah? I can't. I'm not going to be able to talk about this. When Elijah felt alone, the Lord came to him and said, what are you doing here, Elijah? I'm sorry. He knew that Elijah felt alone. Elijah thought he was the only one left. But he wasn't. He wasn't. And we're about to see God remind him of that. But when he felt alone and uncertain, the Lord came to him and said, what are you doing here? I think some of us, you're in a situation right now where the Lord is looking at you and he says, what are you doing here? This isn't where you belong. I've called you and equipped you. I got a big purpose on your life. But yet you're stuck right here. What are you doing here? That is so good. And then something else I need you to notice, he wasn't in the tornado, he wasn't in the earthquake, he wasn't in the fire. Sometimes we think that God is going to use these big ways to speak to us. We think, Lord, send fire down. Like the Old Testament. Show me. I tell y'all what, if fire would have fell out, I would have died right here. But I'm just telling you, say, send fire down, right? Like that's how I need you to talk to me. Send a cloud. Cover my house in a cloud. Send this, send that. We are asking him for like these big, big signs. And like, if you send this humongous sign, I'll know you're speaking to me. Listen, sometimes he don't come in the big, loud ways. He comes in the silence. He comes in a gentle whisper. It doesn't always have to be the Lord coming and speaking to you in this big, mighty effort. Sometimes it's just getting silent with him. And listening to what he's calling you to. Listen, sometimes when the Lord's calling me, I don't even know what he's saying. Like when I just felt pulled to read this, okay? I started at chapter 17, but I just felt pulled to read this, okay? And I did. I read it twice. I read it last night when I was going to bed, right? And I could feel things being said to me, so to say, but like I still wasn't sure. And then this morning I read it again. Right? And I took all my notes. And I think there are still things in this passage that I ain't found yet that I'm supposed to. Because I just feel it. There's still something else here. But sometimes when he's speaking to me, I don't even know what he's saying. Right? You don't always need a straightforward answer from the Lord. You're just wanting one. Sometimes it's not going to be a big, marvelous miracle that speaks to you. It's going to be a still voice, a whisper. Right? I love that. I seen one of these. Let's see. Good morning. Sometimes it's a feeling that makes us cry tears of joy. Yes. Listen, sometimes I want a burning bush. Just saying, Dad. Don't we all want a burning bush? Sometimes, you guys, it's small things. Sometimes it's just like me, for example. When I read, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" I don't know why, but that just almost brings me to tears every time. Right? And it may just be because of like I was in this funk that I talked about it on Friday, right? Which I got to get those coffee talks uploaded today. Glad I just thought about that. I got to add that to my to-do list. Hold on. I had to add that to my to-do list. Maybe it's just because I've been like in this semi-funk and I am feeling better and, because I needed to take that time. But I don't know, anytime I read that, what are you doing here, Elijah? I could cry just every time. Sometimes that is what it looks like when the Lord speaks to you. Is you don't have anything to say. It's just a feeling that you have. Right? Let's keep reading right here. Verse 14. He replied again, "I have zealously served the Lord God Almighty. But the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you, torn down your altars, and killed every one of your prophets. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too." So he repeated that he felt alone. And that's why he was where he was. So Elijah, let me run something by you. Wait a second. So he's asked him, what are you doing here, twice? Well, the Lord knows that he's on the mountain because the Lord sent him to the mountain. So he's not talking about physically where he is. He's talking about mentally where he is. Ain't he? He do be. He sent him to... Do y'all see where I'm going? He's not asking him, what are you doing here, Elijah? Because he's supposed to be on the mountain. He was sent to the mountain. He's asking him, what are you doing here? Because Elijah isn't in the right emotional and mental headspace. Where so many of us have been. He's not saying, Elijah, what are you doing here on this mountain? He says, Elijah, what are you doing here in this fight in your mind? What are you doing here in this depressive state? What are you doing here wanting to die? What are you doing here fatigued and ready to throw in the towel? What are you doing here? That is good. He's asking, do you still have faith in him? Yes. Yes, like, gosh, that's good. So when he said, Elijah, what are you doing here? Elijah responds, Lord, I feel alone. That's why I'm in the mental headspace I'm in, is because, Lord, I feel alone. Oh, gosh. And the Lord would soon respond, which we're about to read, that you're not alone. Maybe some of us need to be asking ourselves today, what are we doing here in this headspace that we've got ourselves in? Because it's time to get out of it. It's time to get out of it. Oh, goodness. Hold on, let's finish reading. Verse 15. Then the Lord told him, go back the same way you came. Travel to the wilderness of Damascus, I don't know, we'll say it like that. When you arrive there, anoint Hazael to be king of so-and-so, and anoint so-and-so, grandson of so-and-so, to be the king of Israel, and anoint Elisha, son of, y'all gonna laugh at me, this says snap it. I totally read that Snapchat when I was reading the verse because I wasn't trying to sound it out. I was like, oh my God, and I laughed so hard at myself. From the town of so-and-so to replace you as a prophet. Anyone who escapes from so-and-so will be killed by so-and-so, and those who escape so-and-so will be killed by Elisha. Ooh. Yet I will preserve 7,000 others in Israel who have never bowed down to Baal or kissed him. The Lord came and said, what are you doing here, Elijah? Elijah said, Lord, I feel very alone. So what did he do? The Lord put Elijah in his presence. But from a still whisper, not a miraculous act, not something crazy, not a burning bush, a still whisper in a cave on a mountain. And then he responded, what are you doing here, Elijah? Oh, goodness gracious. And Elijah responded, I'm alone, Lord. The Lord said, no, you're not. First off, I'm with you. I'm right here in this still voice. Second off, go to this person and this person and this person. And I will preserve 7,000 others in Israel who have never bowed down to Baal. Even though you don't see, even though you don't know them, even though you don't hear about them, I want to promise you that there are other people going through the exact same thing you are going through. And I want you to know that when I was going through something that was really hard, that was the thing that kept me alive. That's the thing that kept me going. It was that the Lord was with me. But I also reminded myself on a daily, others have come before me and others will come after me that are walking the same journey that I am. There are other widows out here walking in the world. There are other children out here without their father or their mother. I'm not alone. Right? And I reminded myself of that. Unfortunately, yeah. You're not alone either. See, that's the thing about the Lord. He didn't create us to be alone. And even while you're over here not believing in him, he's still sending people to fight for you, to pray for you, and to love you. Because that's the type of God we serve. So, in fact, yes. You said that as being sarcastic. Oh, he's sending other atheists too. He is. He has sent other people that will connect with you. And hopefully one that'll bring you out of where you're in. Right? But that's the thing about the Lord. He's merciful, loving, and forgiving. And he doesn't want any of us to be alone. So he will still, even though you don't believe in him, ooh, I got cold chills. Even though you don't believe in him, and even though you think he's not real, and it's probably because at some point in your life, you've got mad at him over something. You've gotten mad at him over something. So you think that he's not real. Right? And he'll still send people to love you too. And he'll still send people to speak to you too. And he'll still send people who will pray for you too. He still doesn't want you to be alone. Right? So, that's good. Tell you what. I tell you what. But you are not alone. Right? You are not alone. And he reminded Elijah of that. So in this chapter so far that we have read, Elijah started struggling mentally. The Lord offered him food and water. And then sent Elijah on a journey to get silent with him, to get quiet with him. Elijah did. Elijah went on this journey, and, from what we gather, he's still in this headspace. 40 days and 40 nights he walked to get to where the Lord was calling him to be so that he could spend a long time with the Lord, and he was still in this mental funk. Okay? He got there, and the Lord met him there. Elijah, what are you doing here? Okay? Elijah said, Lord, I feel alone. I feel so very alone. And the Lord said, and he came to him. He got in his presence in a gentle whisper. He was showing Elijah, I'm here. You're not alone. I got you. Right? But he didn't only say, Elijah, here I am. You're not alone. I'm here with you. But he said, hey, go find these people. Because I know you need a friend. So go find these people. Because I'm proving to you that you're not alone. Right? So he sent him 2 people that would prove to Elijah he's not alone. We have all been Elijah. And the story ain't over yet, but we have all been Elijah. ready to throw in the towel, discouraged, and don't want to keep going, right? So we need to take a lesson from him, okay? We need to get along with the Lord. We need to eat, sleep, do things that replenish our body and our spirit. Get along with the Lord, hear him speak. Okay? And when we feel alone still, we need to remind ourselves we're not only not alone, the Lord is with us, but there are other people around us too. There are other people around us, number one, going through the same thing we're going through. And number two, there are other people out here working for the Lord just like you think, just like you are. You just might not know who they are, but I promise you they are. And honestly, you guys, that is how I get through some of like when I'm on social media and it's really trying to like pull me down, right? Because it's so bad and people are like denouncing the name of God and stuff, and I just don't like that. And sometimes it hurts me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord, like, where are your people? And the Lord is like, my people are out here, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I promise you, even though all that's being presented to you right now is bad, I promise you that my people still exist. So it becomes not a matter of what the enemy is feeding me day in and day out, but trusting in the Lord that there are people out here doing his work everywhere. It just depends on what you decide to focus on. Are you going to focus on the bad and the evil that's taking over? Or are you going to focus on the people that are still good? Right? You get to decide. You get to decide what you're going to focus on. That's nobody's choice but yours. You get to decide that. Yes. There is strength in numbers. 110%. I love that. That's cute. Thank you. How do you go to people when you are scared of people? What do you mean? Yep. Yes, I do post the studies on YouTube. I have a couple that I have to upload today. I think I got to upload Thursday and Friday. And clearly I got to upload today. But yes, they're on there. I don't really know my thoughts on the revival. I love it. It is bringing people to it. People are getting saved. And I think that that's wonderful. I don't know. I don't know. Me and Steve have been having conversations about it. I think it is wonderful. I do. I do believe that revival, is coming like people are saying. And I love that. But I ain't been there, so I don't know. I do from the videos and stuff. It is a lot of singing and worshiping, which I love. But I'm also one of those that I like scripture. I like preaching. I love my worship music. We be worshiping all the time. Y'all be knowing we do our work with me videos and we worship the whole time. And I worship the whole time, but I like to hear the word of God be taught. But I also don't think that there's any rules on revival. I don't think there's rules as to what it needs to look like. I mean, personal revival. We need to be having personal revivals with ourselves, first and foremost. But I don't know. So I don't think there's any rules for revival. I think that it's wonderful that people are going to it and finding the Lord there. Like, I love that too. But I would wish that there would be maybe more preaching and stuff. Like, because here's my thing. I'll share one thing with you. Here's my thing. I want as many people as I can, okay, to come to the Lord. Okay, but coming to the Lord is the first step. Now that you've came to the Lord, your life isn't just going to miraculously change. Now that you've came to the Lord, there is inner healing that needs to be done. There is inner work that needs to be handled. Who's going to teach you how to do that if you don't know this? That's my only thing. So yes, all these people are coming, which is wonderful. People are getting saved. Wonderful. I love that. But then they're going home. But then they're going home. So are they going to carry that home? And now that you've gotten saved, what are you going to do with it? Because now there's work to be done. So I just hope that people aren't like going home hyped up and then forget about it, but I think it's wonderful. Seeds are being planted 110%, and seeds being planted. That's why I said, I do think it's wonderful. And I think that it's exactly what some people need. Let's see. Did they? See, I didn't see, and that's what I'm saying. I love that because I haven't seen those videos. So I'm not trying to speak on nothing that I ain't experienced. But I love that happened. I did see a video about somebody saying that like nothing was for the 2.5 hours he was there. But again, me and Steve talked about that, and Steve was like, yeah, he went on this day. And of course, this has been going on for how long? So, there's not going to be a person up there for this many days. So I love that too. I think that's great. Yes. Yes, Angie. So, I think it's wonderful, and I think it's exactly what some people need. There's going to be steps to this. Some people are just going to get saved, and they're going to go home and not know what to do with it. So this is where the church needs to step up. Right? This is where God's people needs to step up. This is where people need to stop being scared to teach the word and its fullness and its wholeness. Okay? We're not just teaching the feel good parts of it. We need to be teaching all of it. The parts where Elijah asked for the Lord to take his life. We need to be teaching all the parts of the Bible. Okay? Because these people are going to come home, and they're not going to know what to do with this, right? So this is where the revival is where it started. I love that. But this is where the church needs to step up. This is where people need to stop being scared to preach the hard things of the Bible. This is where people need to stop being scared to preach Hosea, right? And just because there's prostitution. This is where we don't need to be scared to preach about mental health because it's in the Bible. This is where the church this is their call to stand. Don't just preach the feel-good message. Preach every aspect of this Bible because all of it is important. I'm not a feel-good Bible teacher. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm not sorry about it. Right? That's who I am. Revival is a renewal of your spirit. Yes, see? So Steve wants to do our podcast on revival. We're going to try to get a podcast recorded before we leave for vacation because we've been slacking. I love that. You got a She Reads Truth. They are so good. Let the dog out?
Yeah.
First person. One person started that. Yep. Yes. You are so sweet. Definitely here if you need any help. I love the Jesus Bible. I own one. You'll have to tell me what you mean by that. That could be good that'll be a good conversation for the podcast. We will definitely be praying for her. I don't really have a favorite Bible. I use them all. I use the YouVersion Bible app. No, I don't sugarcoat nothing. Listen, I was reading last night. Watch this. Hold on. I be laughing. My faces I make. Hold on. Where did it go? Hold on. The usual time we're offering. Listen, immediately the fire of the Lord flashed down from heaven and burned up the young bull, the wood, the stones, and the dust. It even licked up all the water in the trench. I mean, just like I read that. It was like, he really went like laying in bed. I was like, what? Like, that is so funny. I laughed. I literally laughed out loud. Let's see. And then there was another one. I was like, I can't believe he said that. I read it like 3 times. I can't remember. I don't know where it is now. I'd have to reread it because I read it in the other Bible and they're not in the same format. But it was funny. Like, I don't think the Bible don't need altering in any sort of way. It don't, because it's perfect just the way it is. I love the Illustrating Bible. That's a great journaling Bible. Sadie Robertson, I like some of her messages. There are some that I don't agree with, but I've read some of her books. I don't think any of us can be perfect. And I think that we should allow people to get it wrong. And sometimes they might have different views than you. And all you can do is ask the Lord for your own discernment to know what is accurate and what is not, and do your own research. Commentary is what's going to help you understand better. I would highly suggest a study Bible. I have a New King James Version women's study Bible, and it is very good. You can go to my Amazon storefront, and I have Bibles recommended there, and that will help you. Study Bibles are really, really good to help you. I have a video about study Bibles that I'll probably post today. I seen somebody ask me, what's your view on tattoos? They're a no for me. I will not personally be getting one. But that is just my personal conviction. I've seen lots of people have lots of different views, and they say that like the is it in Leviticus? It's talking about like tattoos of like people that have passed away, and you're getting tattoos in memorial of them. A lot of people have done that. And they say that don't apply anymore because of Jesus. I think yes and no. That's another conversation for another day. I'm not going to look down on somebody because they have tattoos, by any sort of means. And I think, again, it's a personal discernment, and you need to speak with the Lord about that, not with me, right? I will talk about it. I'll say what I want to say about it. I'll give my opinion about it. I would feel highly convicted if I got a tattoo. I'd feel highly convicted. So I'm not going to do it. But I know plenty of people that have tattoos. Steve has 2 tattoos. And my late husband was covered in them. I think it's just to each his own. And we'll study about it. It just depends on the different ways that you're going to view the Bible. Angie says, I have tattoos, but I won't be getting another one. See, I feel like it is very much so a personal conviction. But I also think, one of the things that somebody was teaching when they said that Leviticus is Old Testament. But if you can't disqualify the Old Testament. If it wasn't important, it wouldn't be in the Bible first and foremost. Yes, Jesus came to change things, and he did. He came to change things, and he did. But that still don't disqualify the Old Testament. If you're trying to say that it does, then you're disqualifying the whole Old Testament. So I just don't think you can do that. But again, I do think it's a personal thing. We're all out here sinners, my friends. We all out here sinning all the time, every day. That's not an excuse to sin. It's not. But again, personal conviction. The Lord personally convicted me about different things at different times. First, it was about the way that I spoke. First, it was about cussing. Then it was about drinking. Okay? And I was a smoker for a very long time. Then it was about smoking. Okay? He didn't convict me about all of it at once. It came one after the other, after the other, after the other. Right? And that is how I grew, evolved, and changed. So I think it will come in different levels of conviction. That's how I personally think it will happen. Yep, tomorrow night's coffee talk will be the last one for the week, and then I will return on Monday. I might do one over the weekend when I get back, because I might be all excited and whatnot. So if you're not in our Purpose of Hope Facebook group, I'd highly suggest you get there. It is in the link tree in the bio, because I usually, if I'm going to do an extra live, I will post in the Facebook group that I'm going to do So Said Live. How do you get closer to Jesus? You open up your Bible. You find somebody that can help you get closer to them, and then you get close to them. Listen, Holly, I might be too hyped up and need to come on Sunday and talk to you guys about things. Can't I just come and hang out? That's a long time without my besties. That's a long time without my online besties. My Facebook account is under Kelsey Irvin. So we are super excited. But tomorrow night's coffee talk will be the last coffee talk until at least we get back. Yes. If you search Kelsey Irvin or Purpose of Hope, I should come up every time. I know, but you know what he said? Listen, I promise I will only do it with the Lord's discernment. Named Irv. That's funny. Ours is spelled Irvin. We are going to the Ohio, like Kentucky line, and we're going to go to the Creation Science Center and Noah's Ark. Yes. The real wife, her name's Diane. She just posted. She is being amazing and is hosting us in her Airbnb. And I can't wait to meet her. And she's already been such a blessing. So it's gonna be awesome. And I will share with y'all, as long as she's okay with it, I'm going to be recording TikToks. Now that's happening. I will share with y'all on my stories on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to share the Airbnb with y'all and a way that y'all can also check the Airbnb out. So I will share all of that with y'all, and I'll share like our experience to the best of my ability that I can. All that's going to be like on Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and TikTok videos. So I am going to share like my journey, throughout the week with you guys. That way we're not like completely apart, my besties. Holly calling me out. Listen, Holly, I only get to spend 2 days with y'all. I'm trying to make up time. She said, bye-bye. So I'll share all that with you guys. And it's gonna be awesome. I'm super excited. I know that we're gonna have to come back. There's no way we're gonna be able to get through all of it, but I'm really excited. Like, I know that the Lord is just gonna it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. All right, but I love you guys. I love you guys. I hope y'all have a fabulous day. I got a lot to do today, lots to tackle. Oscar even has a grooming appointment today, so I got lots to get done today. I thought about that. I did think about that. I was going to talk to Steve about it. But I love y'all so big. I'm going to get Coffee Talks uploaded today, too. I need to go eat me some breakfast. I'm hungry. But I love y'all. I hope y'all have a fabulous day. And I will see y'all tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys.